What's going on, fellas? What's going on? What is going on? Wait for some people to get up in here, man. Starting at 7:05. What's up, Penny? Eat in the house. What's going on? What's going on? Clean panties. Wait till 7:05 get here. You know what I mean? What's up, D-Sin? What's up, NC? What's up, Jamie L? Peace, peace. Much love, NC. Yeah, we're gonna start at 7:05, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna be over here probably about an hour. I don't know if G Alex gonna be in because he had some good shit to talk about. I don't know what's going on with him. But I'm still gonna drop some shit, you know. I'm still gonna drop some shit, basic shit coming out of some of my books. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna follow no niggas on no fucking internet, you know. And fellas, remember this: if you got people on YouTube can't beat a ticket, give it up. Stop listening to that idiot. If a nigga can't beat a ticket, you know goddamn well he ain't gonna be no child support. You know what I'm talking about? We're gonna talk about tort law. Give y'all some little, give y'all a little push. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, that niggas, this shit funny, man. Niggas on here talking about tickets and uh uh you ain't alive. They know you dead. Man, just silly ass shit, man. Either pay the shit, fight the shit, or pay the shit, or shut the fuck up. Real talk. Shit. God damn it. We got one more minute, fellas. We got one more minute. I might invite let me see. You already know we got the Mexican side of motherfucking Shamstoppers. We already kicked that shit off. You know. Let me see. Wait one more minute, fellas. One more minute. Well, 7:05. Well, you already know what time it is. This is Shamstoppers. We reserve our United States constitutional rights, freedom of speech, and everything that rides with it. Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, all them good legal documents. And we're gonna talk a little bit about contract, Tort law. And we're going to start off first. Tort. What is a tort, fellas? If y'all don't know what a tort is. What is a tort, fellas? Do any of y'all know what a tort is? Huh? I like that. Torture. That's what's up. You close, but let me go read what a tort is. A lot of people think they know law and they don't. They don't even talk about this shit. All right. Torts. Yep, an injury to another. Check this out. Two notions serve as the basis of all torts: wrongs and compensation. The word tort is from French. It's a French word, means wrong. Okay? And it derives from a Latin for twisted. So Latin means twisted, French means wrong. See what I mean? Check this out. A crime is an act so wrong that it is considered to be a wrong against the state or against society as a whole, as well as a wrong against the individual victim. Okay? Now, do y'all know the elements of the tort? Huh? Do y'all know all the elements of the tort? And we're going to talk about this child support. We're going to put this in child support, that contract that your baby mother goes down there and signs. Okay? We're going to talk about this. Wait a minute. Okay, tort law is also recognized that the victim of wrong should be compensated. If y'all didn't know that. All right? But criminal law punishes the corporate. Now, the elements of every tort, y'all can write this down. A tort has been committed when someone has suffered injury caused by the failure of another to live up a required duty of care. Now, duty of care, where do they put that at? Huh? What they put that at? They put that child support as a duty. You have a duty to support your child. So basically, when you go into court, when they call you to court, it's a tort. So they're calling you wrong because you're not giving that bitch no money. And the state the money, right? And the state is so fucked up and retarded, you know what I mean? It's out of control now. Let me keep going. There are three key elements in this definition. Number one, fellas, injury. Number two, causation. Number three, here the child support shit is, breach, failure of duty of care. So they get y'all on number three because you're failing to have a duty of care, caring for your so-called child, but she is the child and she went to go make that state loan, right? So the state and her are both obligees. They're both creditors making a loan off of your seed, off of your child. So this is how they get y'all off this tort. Because for one, there hasn't been no injury and there ain't causation because they don't have it in their paperwork. She's not injured and there is no causation. So what is the cause? Huh? Well, we're going to read about the causation. The causation is the second element necessary to a tort is causation, right? If a person fails in a duty of care and someone suffers an injury, the wrongful activity must have caused the harm for a tort to have been committed. In deciding whether there is causation, the court must actually address two questions. Is there factual causation? Number one. Number two, was the act, the proximate cause of the injury. Did y'all hear that? Let me go to number one, the injury. In order for a tort to have been committed, there must be a recognizable injury to the plaintiff. How did you injure your baby mama? Because you didn't want to share your money? Now check this out. It says the plaintiff must have suffered some loss, harm, wrong, or invasion of a protected interest to recover damages, that is, to receive compensation. The reason for the requirement of injury is obvious. Without an injury of some kind, there can be no compensation. There can be no compensation, man. Remember that the purpose of the tort is to compensate for injuries resulting from wrongful acts, not to punish the act. Are y'all following me? I don't hear nobody in the chat. Y'all got quiet. What's up? It's some good. I know y'all writing this down. Y'all better write this shit down. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep going. So they can't punish you because you ain't did nothing wrongful for her, to her. You ain't here. Some niggas go upside a bitch head. You know what I mean? Check this out. Tort law covers a broad variety of injuries. Society recognizes interest in personal, physical safety. And tort law provides a remedy for acts causing physical injury or interfering with a physical security and freedom of movement. Society recognizes an interest in protecting personal property, and tort law provides a remedy for causation, destruction, or damage to property. Did you damage any of her property? Did you go upside her head? Fellas, nobody should be on child support when I'm reading this stuff to you. Okay? She ain't suffered no injury. And we're going to go on the contract law too. Well, I'm just breaking down the tort law so y'all get a better understanding. Torts. Tort is French for wrong and Latin means twisted. Okay? Tort law provides a remedy, invasion, protecting interest in these areas. Tort law is consistently changing and growing with the society. Although many torts have their origin of old common law, new torts protecting new interests develop and step with social change. Okay. We're going to keep going. Let's keep it moving. Y'all got the elements. The elements of a tort is injury, causation, and breach or failure to duty to care. Ain't no law say you got to care for a bitch. Okay? We're going to go to the duty of care. The basic rule of duty is that people are free to act as they please as long as their actions do not interfere with and infringe on the interests of others. So this is what you got to ask yourself. This isn't a breach of duty of care. And I'm going to read you the two elements, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to read that too. All right. The final element in a tort can also be broken up into two-part questions. Is there a duty of care? You can answer, hey, do I have to care for my child's mom? I can take care of my children without y'all. I didn't apply for services. She did. I don't need no help. She does. She is incompetent and she's a minor and she's a ward. That's why they tell you fellas to make the check out to the disbursement unit, right? So they can disperse it to their child, which is your baby mama. Now, let me read it over again. Breach of duty of care. Shalom, Mr. Blue. The final elements in the tort also will be broken up into two-part questions. Is there a duty of care? Number one. Number two, did the defendant's action breach fail to live up to that duty? Did you and your baby mama have a contract? Was y'all married? Did y'all write down a contract saying, I won't leave you. If I leave you, I'm going to have to pay for you and your bills, for you and this other nigga to suck, so this nigga can suck some dick I'm gonna pay like I'm gonna give you $500-600 a month. Some niggas $1,200 a month for you to go fuck this new dude, while I sit over here and suffer. Come on, fellas. Let me read the duty of care. Basically, the concept of duty arising from the notion that if we are to live in society with other people, some actions can be tolerated and some cannot. Some actions are right and some are wrong, and some actions are reasonable and some are not. The basic rule of duty is that people are free to act as they please as long as their actions do not interfere. So if you're not interfering with her life, you have the right to do as you please, fellas. Think about that. And with infringe on the interests of others. Let me keep going. Tort law measures duty by a standard of reasonableness. The reasonable person standard. Y'all ever heard of that? In determining whether a tort has been committed, the courts will ask how a reasonable person would have acted in the same circumstances. Now let me hit you with some more torts. Let me hit y'all with something. Wrongs against the person. You can sue a bitch for writing your name down, right? For commercial purposes. Now let me give you a list of them. Battery, assault, okay, false imprisonment. That's a tort. All right. Infliction of mental distress, fellas. That shit's a tort. Let me read a little bit of that. Recently, the courts have begun to recognize an interest in freedom from mental distress as well as an interest in physical security. The tort of mental distress can be defined as an intentional act that amounts to the extreme and outrageous conduct resulting in severe emotional distress to another. For example, if a prankster telephones an individual and says that the individual's spouse has just been in a horrible accident, as a result, the individual suffers an intense mental pain or anxiety. Extreme and outrageous conduct is defined as conduct that is outside the bounds of decency accepted by society. The test is measured by the reasonable person standard. So check this out. This bitch going to court. Let me break it down. She up here saying, well, he got this and he got that. Like, you can say, bitch, what they got to do? What they got to do with you? That's my business. We don't have a contract together. You can hit her ass with emotional outrage because she's sitting up here begging for your motherfucking money. Let's get on defamation. That's another tort. That's slander. You know what that is, right? Let me give you the definition of defamation. Defamation of character involves wrongfully hurting a person's good reputation. That's what that shit means. Lying on somebody, false swearing. Okay, we got another one. Defamation by the computer. Let me give you a key one. Let me give y'all a key one tonight. Invasion of right to privacy. Y'all gonna want to write this one down. Invasion of right to privacy. A person's right to solitude and to freedom from prying public eyes is the interest protected by the tort of invasion of privacy. 4 different acts qualify as an invasion of privacy. This is a tort, fellas. Can y'all hear me? Gonna hit y'all with something. The number one, write this down. The use of a person's name or picture for commercial purposes without permission. I can sue a bitch ass nigga right now for doing that. Because I ain't giving my private information. I'm going to read it again. Number one, the use of a person's name or picture for commercial purposes without permission. Invasion of the right to privacy. Number two, intrusion upon an individual affairs or seclusion. Number three, public information that places a person in a false light. This could be a story arbitrating to the person's ideas that are not held or actions that were not taken. Publishing such a story could involve the tort of defamation as well. Woo! Number four, public disclosure. Check this out. Let me see who answered. So sending that paperwork at the initial point of an order is how they get you. Wait, sending that paperwork at the initial point of the order is how they get you. Sending what paperwork? Your paperwork or their paperwork? If they sending you if they sending you paperwork, they're offering you something. They're offering you services because they want you to pay for your baby mama shit. And if you ain't try to sue them, man, and you waited this long, you know what I mean? You still can get out of it, but don't wait so long. Don't listen to dumb niggas. That's where we fuck up at. Listening to dumb motherfuckers who don't read no books, who ain't got no books, who go word to mouth with shit. Let me read number four for invasion of privacy. Public disclosure. Public disclosure of private facts about an individual. The private facts that are made public must be facts that an ordinary person will find objectionable. Now, fellas, here go another one for you. I'm finna give y'all another one. Misrepresentation, fraud, and deceit, my nigga. Oh, y'all gonna love this one. Y'all got the invasion of privacy. It's called the invasion of the right to privacy. Write that down. That's a tort. Okay? Check this out. The tort of misrepresentation involves the use of fraud and deceit for personal gain. It includes several elements. Misrepresentation of facts or conditions with knowledge that are false or with reckless disregard for the truth. What that shit sound like, fellas? Huh? Number two, intent to induce another to rely on the misrepresentation. Number three, justifiable reliance by the deceived party. Number four, damages suffered as a result of reliance. Number five, casual connection between the misrepresentation and the injury suffered. Yes. You hear that? Huh? In general, the reliance must be upon a statement of fact. Reliance on a statement of opinion is not justified unless the person making the statement has superior knowledge of the subject matter. A lawyer's opinion of law, for example, is an example of superior knowledge. Did you hear that? So let me elaborate on that. All the dumb people who don't read, all the people who say I'm gonna go get a lawyer, They'll believe a lawyer. They'll believe a lawyer, and they don't read. And they'll go ask a lawyer. A lawyer can lie. A lawyer lie to you, tell some false shit, and they'll still believe them because they had a title over their head called lawyer. Right? Professor Smith, peace, brother. What are you reading from? Just a great book, my brother, giving you some torts. You know what I mean? Write it down. Start it over. Torts. Okay, check this out. You got another tort. Wrongs against property. Right? This is an intentional tort. Wrongs against property. Don't you know your property is your person? Huh? Your property is your person. Which is what these dummies on YouTube call the all cap name. That is your property. That's damage against your person, okay? Wrongs against property include trespass to land, trespass to personal property, conversion, and nuisance. The wrong is against the individual who has legally recognized rights with regard to land and personal property. Let me give you another one. Ooh, you ready for this one? Let me read this to you. Whenever an individual unlawfully injures the personal property of another or otherwise interferes with the personal property's owner's rights to exclusive possession and enjoyment of that property, guess what that's called, fellas? Trespass to personality. I can sue a motherfucker for trespassing against my personality. You can too. Right? So what is a person? So they want to call your thing when you come in there, but that's your thing because your mom and dad gave you that thing. Right? But when your ass get on child support, this is what niggas go wrong. When they go get these jobs and you put that social security number down, you put your property down because you here to use it. Don't nobody on this planet own shit, nigga. We here to use shit because you ain't taking it with you. You know what I mean? You got to control it. It's all about controllership. If you don't control it, you know what I mean? You can't hold it. If you can't hold it, you can't control it. Okay? Remember that. Your children is your property. You know what I mean? Your children is your property. Trespass to personality is a tort. Okay? It's a tort. You know what I mean? Now we finna go deal with these contracts. And I gave y'all something. You know, I gave you something to use. Can somebody tell me, give me the definition of a contract? Give me a definition of a contract. I got two real definitions of a contract. No, that ain't trespass to personality. That's another one. I'm going to give you one. Theft of property. Look up theft of property or look up theft of service because you're providing a service for your job. You're serving them, you know what I mean? And if they don't want to pay you for that, that's theft of service and theft of property because that money that you earn the property, because the Bible says a man is worthy of his wages. Okay? Give me the definition of a contract, fellas. JC, give me the definition of a contract.
It's an agreement. It's a binding agreement. between parties.
Okay, what else?
To fulfill the obligations and the terms and conditions in that agreement.
Okay, give me another one. The one I showed you originally.
Right. Hold on.
That's a good one, L. Stewart. Let me give you a definition. This is one definition. A contract is simply any agreement, JC was right, any agreement that can be enforced in a court of law or equity. It is, look, it is formed by two or more parties who agree to perform and refrain from performing some act. Now, let me tell you something. So it's supposed to be you. No, let me take that back. It's supposed to be the child support people, your baby mama, and you. All three of y'all supposed to be in the room together. Okay? Hit the like button, fellas, because I'm giving y'all some shit. There's 16 of y'all in here. Hit that goddamn like button. But anyway, let me drop some signs on you.
Isn't
All
it
three of y'all, what you say, JC?
I said, isn't it a partnership where you
Yeah,
partner up?
yeah, let me tell you. So you have the child support agency, you have you, and you have your baby mama. All y'all supposed to be putting everything y'all want inside of that contract, and y'all supposed, that's called meeting of the minds. And y'all supposed to sit down and say, hey, I'm gonna put this in here, I'm gonna put that in here, we're gonna put that in here. That's a contract. That is a contract, fellas. A contract ain't when you ain't around. That is no contract. That's their contract. That's between the baby mama and them. You are the third party because they're both commingling together. Okay? Real talk. So for a contract to be valid, all parties have to be there and put everything in it. If it's not, you got an idiot on YouTube calling an unconscionable contract. No, nigga, that's a goddamn adhesion contract. Take it or leave it, nigga. They're gonna tell you to sign, and they'll tell you, hey, if you don't sign this, nigga, you going to jail, nigga. That's adhesion contract. That's what that shit is.
You took that out of my mouth. I was gonna say that.
Child support contracts are all adhesion contracts. That's why we have got so many people off of child support, because we know what the fuck we talking about. Okay? We not on here preaching. It ain't no competition with us. Those other people, they all in competition with each other. We're not. You know what I mean? You done seen the testimony on the last video before we posted this shit up, and we got more shit coming. Okay? Real talk. If a nigga can't beat a ticket, if you got these assholes on YouTube can't beat a ticket, cut them off. You know damn well they can't beat their baby mama if they can't beat a fucking ticket. Up here going up here, and then if they being called a sovereign citizen and shit. You know what I mean? I'm dropping y'all this shit. Let me give you the elements of a motherfucking contract. Y'all ready for the elements? Number one, the agreement. Number two, consideration. Number three, contractual capacity. Number four, legality. Number five, reality of assent. Number six, the form. You see that? Real talk, man. If y'all wasn't there when that contract was made, you know what I mean? That's a wrap. Yeah, we got a pussy ass nigga with a thumbs down. Nigga, go suck a dick, die. Go to the graveyard, bitch, nigga. We the most hated, jealous motherfuckers on this child support arena. and call my goddamn phone, you got a problem. A lot of niggas ain't gonna get off child support because they hate and they worry about the next nigga. Real
You know,
talk.
you just said some truth about that, brother Wasil. You know, if you're hating what another individual has, that's the reason you don't succeed because you're focused on everything else except yourself.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't have to read
Yeah.
shit out my goddamn books. You know what I mean? But you got these other niggas all on YouTube, you know, want to slick this and say subliminal shit. You know what I mean? That's pussy shit, nigga. That's why I tell niggas, call my phone. I ain't scared of damn motherfucking nigga. Real talk. And I keep my strap on me, nigga, at all motherfucking times.
Now and you know that's another thing about Shamstoppers. Shamstoppers doesn't go out there and say bashing other people like with indirect what is it, bashing. I think what we do is just put straight up to the point content, like just the info that you just posted here in this podcast. And then if anybody has a question or a situation, I mean, all you got to do is just pick up the phone. Don't be afraid. Fear is your biggest enemy. So
Fear,
if yeah, go ahead.
fear is an abundance of ignorance.
Correct.
Like Kish said, fear is an abundance of fucking ignorance. Ignorance, man. You know what I mean? Like I said, I ain't scared of damn motherfucker on this planet. Now police, now sheriff, nobody. Cause I ain't with all that behind shit.
Right. So,
It's the,
for in,
it's the,
for instance, that
it's
guy
the,
that gave you that gave the thumbs down to this video. I mean, I have a question. If you, I mean, if you have an answer, you have a better benefit. If you got any better way to benefit yourself and find your freedom, hey, let us know. For instance, I'm willing to pay the price for it. But personally, I'm giving you my own personal what is it experience. Shamstoppers is where it's at. So instead of hating, instead of giving like negativity, putting negativity to the universe, put some positivity. I mean, find something that is productive out of this video and share it with everybody else. I mean, or use it to your advantage. There's a lot of stuff that we just put out there today, and you can use it to your advantage for you fellas that are watching this video right now. If you're
the per-
really intelligent, like, right, you will take advantage of what's the content of this video. So, I mean, I hope you're taking down notes. He gave you a lot of points about tort law, and he gave you a lot of case on point elements about how contracts and agreements uh, how they have the validity. If any of those elements is missing, you don't have a contract and you don't have an obligation. All right, obligors.
yes. Like I say, man, um, hit us up 512-663-3815. You can call in. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I ain't no snitch type ass nigga. I don't snitch on people. All these other bitch ass niggas is snitches. You know what I mean? Real talk. Uh, um, well, I'm just giving it to you, man. I know y'all tired giving y'all this motherfucking push. You know, I know y'all tired of the bullshit. People talking around circles, regurgitating shit. You know, the number 512-663-3815. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna tell y'all something too about the Secretary of Health. That motherfucking that person right there is responsible for all this child support stuff too. You know what I mean? She getting loans through the state, and they getting your baby mama stupid ass, her bitch ass going down there, and they co-signing you on that contract, which is an adhesion contract and shit, and they play tricks on you and all that, and they trick you into signing that shit. Because if they told you the shit was gonna happen before you signed the shit, wouldn't nobody be on child support, right? You know what I mean? Think about that. If they warned you before you signed that shit, none of y'all be on no child support. That's how a bitch got to get you. Her power is deceit and all that. And these niggas is still in love with their baby mama. That's why another reason why they bitch ass ain't gonna get off child support. They still want some pussy. Number two, you know what I mean? All that. A lot of niggas ain't gonna get off child support. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Because they still in love with that pussy and they still worry about the fucking children. You know what I mean? Instead of worry about themselves, going to get them some money and get them by 5 or 6 strands of income and say, fuck it, you gonna be another Genghis Khan and gonna make you a new motherfucking child. Fuck it. Ain't no such thing as love, fellas. You been fucking lied to. No goddamn love. Because if love was real, she wouldn't treat you like that when she would have went down there and put your shit up and gave it to them motherfuckers. Right? But you got these dick in the booty ass niggas want to have peace with the woman. Man, fuck all that. I'm giving you some shit that I learned that worked for me. And if it ain't working for you, you ain't working hard enough. Because you got motherfuckers still talking about, oh man, it's hard out here. Yeah, because you hardly do shit, nigga. Now, we're going to get on due process. If them bitch ass people ain't sent you no type of notice, none of that, you good. You ain't got to worry about child support. Get in they motherfucking monkey asses. Real talk. That's due process. Due process when they got to notice you. They got to process you through the mail. You know what I mean? No contract, no obligation. It has to be an agreement. I just read y'all. Number 1 is an agreement. Let me read it. An agreement includes an offer and an acceptance. A party must offer to enter into a legal agreement, and another party must assent to the terms of the offer. Niggas, y'all ain't getting this shit nowhere else. You getting this shit for free. You know what I mean? And motherfuckers still complain, talking about I don't want to pay that. Well, nigga, go read a book. Consideration. This what consideration says on the other number 2 of the contract. Any promises made by the parties must be supported by legally sufficient consideration, something of legal value. Number 3, contractual capacity. Both parties entering into the contract must have the contractual capacity to do so. They must be recognized by the contract law to possess the characteristics qualifying them as competent parties. If your baby mama's incompetent, bingo, you got her. She's not competent. And if she is competent, she know what the fuck she was doing when she signed and forged your motherfucking name on that pussy ass contract, aka a loan for some surety. Number 4, legality. The contract must be made to accomplish some goal that is legal. Number 5, go read this word, assent. Reality of assent. Apparent consent of both of the parties must be genuine. You know, if y'all ain't got no genuine, if she don't want to, if she want to and the agency want to and you don't want to, nigga, that ain't no contract. Nigga, that's an adhesion contract. They're trying to punk you. Number 6, form. The contract must be in whatever form the law requires. What's up? Thank you, Mark 9. If y'all can't sit down like some grown-ups and say, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, state. I don't need you. Let me talk to her because me and her, we fucked. So I don't need you. We good. We don't need you. Come on, little mama. Come on. Come on, baby mama. Come on. Look, this is what I'm going to do. When Lil Jerome, when I have him, hey, I take care of them, do this, whoop-de-woo. But when you have them, you pay your bills over there, you take care of them. But if they having a function, if he need to go somewhere, you taking them out, I buy what he needs. But I'm not going to give you no money because I'm not obligated to you. And fellas, if anybody outside of your house, you don't have no obligation to. You know what I mean? But these hoes out here, they not gonna sit down and they not gonna talk because they got the next nasty, dirty pussy bitch in their ear talking about, girl, you gonna let him do that? Girl, I make him pay me. He gonna give me my child support. Well, dumb bitch, you don't know. You don't get all the goddamn money. That's why they had a men send it to the disbursement unit so they can disperse it to your dumb ass bitch. You know what I mean? Real talk, fellas. We got some more fire, man. We're gonna drop some fire today. We're gonna drop some more fire today. I'm trying to wait till my brother come through. You know what I mean? I'm trying to wait till my brother come through because he got some cold shit for y'all. He found some cold shit. You know what I mean? Because I know you brothers is tired of this bullshit. So that's why I came out and said, let me go and do something for y'all, man. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Fuck it. I'll go and do it. You know? Because I'm tired of motherfuckers complaining, talking about they ain't got no money. But we already ran through $1 million to the age we up now, and we already spent over $2,000 giving the money to the bitch. You know what I mean? But I got some more cold shit you can get these mofos up under. You know what I mean? But that's for a later date. But I'm just giving you some shit, some torts. We giving y'all these torts today. You know what I mean? Invasion of the right to privacy, man, that's a big one. That one, and misrepresentation for fraud and deceit, that's another one. You know what I mean? And if y'all ain't make that contract together, that's an adhesion contract. You know what I mean? That's what that is. We ain't gonna say no other contract. Adhesion. Go read adhesion, what that means. Take it or leave it. Oh, nigga, take it or leave it, nigga. Nah, bitch, I'm gonna leave it because it's your shit. You draw it up. You the author of that contract. That's yours. That's by you. Okay. By the way, I don't want to do business. I am not considering your shit, and I'm not going to accept your offer at this time. Okay. I'm rejecting you, bitch. Real talk. That's how we gonna do that. That's how we gonna do that. Oh yeah.
Hey, fellas, while you're at it, go look up the word to disburse, and there's the whole game right there, where the money's going to.
Thank you, JC. Tell him one more time, JC.
Go look up the word disburse. Go look it up in your regular dictionary. Google it. For all I care, just look it up, man, and then you'll find out where the money's really going. Because I had some guys saying, "Oh man, you don't care about the kids, yada yada," and it's like I can always make some more.
Thank you.
You
Thank you.
know?
Y'all better get y'all Genghis Khan on, because I'm gonna tell you it's gonna be too late.
Yeah.
Who Genghis Khan was. Get your Genghis Khan on. Have you stop being sad about one child and she being an idiot, she being evil, man, the hell with all that. Life goes on. Be like her. Turn your cheek. Oh, bitch, you sorry. You can't fight for yourself. Bitch, I can fight for myself. And yes, my brother, I am from the South. We in the South. Because I believe in punching a bitch in the mouth. Okay?
Yep. The
Especially
South.
she get out
That's
of
where it's
line.
at.
You know what I mean? Forget all that, turn the other cheek. Don't hit no woman. Dude, they got women out here killing niggas. Woman care about no man. You got dudes out here killing themselves, holding their children back. Man, forget all that. Chivalry dead. Love is a lie. You know what I mean? They supposed to be obedient to us. Bottom line, if they don't like it, fuck it. They need to go to the graveyard. Real talk. Y'all getting this shit firsthand. You know what I mean? Torts. Y'all can sue them. Y'all can sue them in whatever court you want to. Torts. It's a tort. If your baby mama and them ain't got no contract with you saying that, hey, you can use my person, the all caps name, or anything. You know what I mean? You got them. Hold on a second. Shamstoppers. Yeah, hold on. Let me put you on.
All right, all right.
We can hear you now.
Okay, what's up, everybody in the podcast? Yo, Shamstoppers is what's up, and I'm gonna explain to you why. First of all, there's a saying that says the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? Shamstoppers is the enemy of your enemy, so he is your friend, right? That's how it works. And everything he's saying is very much true, okay? And I'm gonna tell you why too. A lot of his videos, he puts these things up for you to read. He's reading them to you. He's showing you. That's like the window into the house. You can't see the whole house through a window, but if you get the books and you start reading, you're gonna start seeing the whole damn house through that one window. You're gonna see it. It's going to open and reveal itself to you. So you have to do your job, get your fucking books, read. If you don't understand, go back, read it again, get you a highlighter, get the important shit. That way you can help them better help you. You know what I mean? You're going to be better armed, and you're going to start understanding the shit. So it's going to take some time. And just to be real with you guys, I'm not off of it yet, but they will be helping me get off of it pretty damn soon. So that's what I want to put out there for my brother Wasil.
Already, my brother. Already.
All right, then. I'm going to go back to the podcast. Peace, y'all.
Peace, peace. Peace, peace. Yeah, fellas, like I was saying, you know what I mean? Contract law, torts. You know what I mean? It all intertwines. All this sovereign citizen shit, living man bullshit. Stay away from that shit. You know what I mean? I mean, it was cool in the beginning. Shit died. It's dead. Real talk. That shit gone. Too many niggas using it. You know what I mean? Now you have to come up with your own shit. And you know who can do that? We can. Okay? We can come up with some shit for you. You know what I mean? This shit is so easy, fellas. You just don't know. I be sitting up here just laughing sometimes at what bitches tried to pull on me. Like, this bitch. You know what I mean? Women not, and I'm not talking about all women. I'm talking about the dirty women. Because if some women in here listening, because we have a sister that that came for some help and she's about to be successful. If she watching, peace to you. But she an obedient sister. You know what I mean? Like I was saying, fellas, y'all got it. We gave you a push today. I'm trying to see if G Alice gonna come through and shed some more light and bless y'all with something. You know what I mean? He got some cold shit for y'all. It's so beautiful. You know, he showed me. I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean? Because I didn't go into depth. I just used the basics to get off of this shit. You know what I mean? I'm not on child support. I don't owe my baby mamas nothing. You know what I mean? I don't hate them. I just don't fuck with them. You know. So, you know, it's been good, man. I'm glad y'all stopped by. You know, what you say? So what you need to get my case dismissed 100% guaranteed or money back? You're gonna have to call in, my brother, 512-663-3815. You have to call me after this podcast, and the guarantee. I'm gonna tell you the guarantee. When you know this shit, you guaranteed to get off. I can give you all the answers, but if you don't know it, you ain't getting off, and that's the guarantee. If you love your baby mama, you're not getting off. That's a guarantee. Because if you love her, you might as well just sit down and talk to her. Like, look, woman, go take this stuff off of because it's yours. If she can take you off of it, that should tell you, fellas, the shit is hers. You know, real talk. Y'all don't have no contract with these people. You don't have no obligation. Y'all, it's Supreme Court cases that tell y'all right now that it says that the state can't interfere with you and your children, man. I got a bunch of them. I have a shitload of them. In the next podcast, I'm gonna drop a few for y'all. Okay. Already. You know what I mean? JC, you got anything you want to say?
Yeah, on that guarantee, right? That these people are talking about. I'm gonna tell you what I can guarantee you about fucking with Shamstoppers. First of all, answer for me this question, brother Wasil. Who hires lawyers?
People who can't read.
And what else?
Snitches.
Okay, so here's the catch, fellas. Shamstoppers makes the lawyers come out and sends you letters. They will send you letters to tell you to leave these people alone because they defraud you. Wah wah wah. When you get letters from lawyers telling you to stop or trying to make a deal with you, you know you got them.
Yes.
And you will receive a lot of them. Once you get a letter from a lawyer telling you to do something, when you fuck with Shamstoppers, you know you're winning. The letter may sound threatening and all that stuff. The best thing you can do is laugh. So that's my experience when we started this. I'll say journey. We started this process. All right, and so far it's been divine. That's what I can tell you. So, uh, you know, I I'm not hating on lawyers. I really don't hate them, but I gotta laugh at their stupidity. And the reason I say this because they believe they know the law, but they don't know the law. If they knew the law, then why the hell would they practice it? Just think about that one for a minute, fellas. But anyway, so going back to this, you come to Shamstoppers, you will see reaction from lawyers because these people won't want to talk to you. The only people who hire lawyers are those who are guilty, snitches, and people who can't read. So I gotta give you that one, and that's what you're gonna find out with Shamstoppers. Lawyers sending you letters after you send your first set of paperwork. And like Brother Wasil said, common sense. We use a lot of common sense. So
man, that's all we do over here is common sense, fellas. Look, if you don't want to get the full services, we do consultation. All right. We'll do a consultation, something you can afford. You know what I mean? You'll be happy too. You know what I mean? A consultation is good. It'll help you out, man. You know, I tell you some things to get what you lacking on. You know, I don't want to say too much. We got trolls on this motherfucker. You know, and man, I appreciate all y'all for stopping by. Y'all, I know y'all gonna be successful. Only time people gonna come through when the chat is over with. You know what I mean? Them the people that hate us. You know, stay away from that sovereign citizen shit. We all know we living and we the living man, breathing man. We all know we living because people sending us paperwork through the mail. We know that. You know, when you start talking that shit, they're gonna laugh at you. But fellas, it's been good. I want to say thank y'all. I'm gonna try to see. Let me try to see can I get Gibra up in this motherfucker. Cause he probably want to add something on. Yeah, man. Lawyers, man, they ain't no good, fam. Only few lawyers that's any good. You don't know nothing about them. They hiding. They went to hide. You know what I mean? Back in the day, you used to have some real gangster ass lawyers. Now they done got so many stupid, dumb lawyers, man. It's just crazy. What about bringing an agent from the agency to court and suing the agency, not the agency? Suing the agent. Yeah, you can do that. You can sue whoever you want to, bro. You can do whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, Edward. It's a debt collection agency. You goddamn right. Debt, aka not only a debt collection agency, they loan out loans too. They loan out loans to your baby mama and she signed you up to pay for her debt. Okay? That's what it is also. So it's not only a debt collection agency, it's a loaning office. You know what I mean? And these attorneys are acting as loan officers, right? Shit. So, hey man, it's been good. JC, you got anything else you want to say?
Man, I got a lot of stuff to say, right? But I'm gonna give you another piece of experience, fellas. Put it this way: uh, just to get the so-called love out of your life. I'm not saying to hate people. I'm not saying to despise them, wish them bad. None of that. By no means. In reality, again, write this down, fellas, because this is my own personal philosophy. I actually wrote a book behind this philosophy when I started the process of my life, you know, changing it for the better. And this journey started in a journey, right? You want to call it journey in 2014, and I just came up with something really simple: live, love, and enjoy life. Everything else is optional, right? So your number one goal is to live, love, and enjoy your life. So let me tell you, and what makes me continue moving forward. All right, and I'm gonna share a personal experience, something very personal to me. For instance, in 2006, we're talking what, 13 years ago, right? I remember I was making what, $6, $7 an hour, taking care of my offspring and the baby mama. Giving them the best I could give them, a house, something humble, etc. Right? So there was nothing they could ever be that they can say they were lacking with me. In reality, I was the best. I was the best father and everything else. Now, one thing that got to me is I it's like I'm never gonna be making $8 an hour, forever, 9, $10 an hour, or wait to retire. Don't be that person that waits to do things. Don't procrastinate. All right. So if you're thinking right now, dwelling as to like, uh, why is he telling me this, and what is this all about? Okay. For instance, you're dwelling right now in, okay, the price is expensive, the price is this, the price is that. Let me tell you something, fellas. Never say I can't afford something. And this was a good fellow of mine who actually reinforced this live, love, and enjoy life. Everything else is optional, right? And 2 years later, this fella told me, man, think about it for a minute. Right now, I don't go to a slave job. I got my own thing. I get out of America, go vacation, take a 2, 3 month vacation, etc. And you want that life, and it's very simple to do it. Does it? When I say simple, it's because it's all in your mind, right? But but going back to my whole personal experience, right? For instance, from 2006 to 2008, I went from making $8 an hour to making what is it, 17, 18, $20 an hour. This is in 2008, fellas. Now, it was just a little switch that I had to, you know, do in my mind, and it was about getting into those books and taking what people will say taking risks. All right, and that's one thing that got me off child support is taking that step and saying, "Hey, brother Wasil, here's your cash. Do your work. It is what it is. I'm investing. I like what you have to say. And look, now I'm part of Shamstoppers. And the reason he invited me in is because I like to push people to their limits, beyond their limits, beyond what they believe is their limits. All right. So I'm giving you some cold, hard advice that probably your daddy, your uncle, I don't give a fuck what man out there you encountered. You really have had no man that's giving you the advice I'm giving you right now for free. Advice that took me a lot of time and a lot of money to get where I'm at right now, man. Like I said, it's very easy to make money. There's no reason as to why you can't say you can't afford something. All right, it's an investment for you. So, I mean, think about your expenses right now, manage a little budget, and come up with something, put something aside, and say, man, this is my investment. This is how I'm paying myself, so that way I can continue getting my freedom. Freedom isn't free. And you know who knows that? Even the wealthiest motherfucker, even Carlos Slim, who lives in New York. Yeah, he's like 3, 4, 5 times wealthier than Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and all these people put together, dude. Yeah, he makes them look like they live in the hood. All right, that's how Carlos. That's how rich. That's how wealthy Carlos Slim is. Because if you're dwelling as to I'm not free, why I haven't been able to get rid of child support, why am I still making these wages, why is it that I'm still sitting in this same predicament I was in last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago? I don't know your situation, right? But the point I'm trying to make, fellas, is don't procrastinate. Don't wait, because the longer you wait, the harder it gets. I'm telling you, that's my personal experience. So I didn't wait. Every time I see an opportunity, I seize it. I seize the moment. All right. So is it gonna make you, what is it, anxious when you when you seize the moment? Yes, it's gonna make you anxious. But if you're not feeling anxiety, you're not growing, fellas. That's all I gotta tell you about that. So if you're not feeling anxiety when you're going through this process of freedom, you're not growing. You're not getting anywhere. All right, because you're doing something that the majority of people around the world is not willing to go through. If you're willing to stand your ground, you will not be jerked around. That's all I gotta say about that, fellas. I think I'm gonna end it with that. So don't dwell, don't wait, don't think too much about it. Just like Nike, I like their logo. Just do it. If you just do it, you're gonna get ahead. So that's the $1 billion answer to your problems that I just gave you for free.
And this is the Latin sham stoppers, people. Latin, Spanish, and Latin is the same fucking language. Okay.
Correct.
How did you say Jesus in Spanish, my brother?
Jesus.
How
Chuy.
do you how do you say Jesus in Latin?
Ah, uh, Jesus. The same pronunciation.
Same, because you know why Latin is the same in Spanish?
Why?
Put an O behind Latin and what you got?
Latino.
There you
Hello.
go. You know what I mean?
See, fellas? See how simple we keep it here in Shamstoppers? Man,
Latin means, Latin means Latino. It's the same language, Spanish, goddamn me, so shit.
And fellas, last piece of advice. Anybody else that tells you that it can't be done, get rid of them. Don't talk to them. Don't listen to them. Be in your own little world. Be obnoxious about it. Yes, I say be obnoxious about it. Fuck them.
And check this out.
All
I
right.
look on everything. If y'all put in at least an hour a day, if you don't get out services, if you put in an hour a day or 15 minutes, 20, 30 minutes a day, man, you'll be off child support by the end of this year. From now to then. Guaranteed. You know what I mean? Real talk. Because I'm gonna
Yes,
tell you
sir.
something. When you keep doing something, you get better at it. You know what I mean? When you keep here we
There he
go.
is. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's give him the floor.
Hey man, I yield, my brother. I am yielding.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me get connected here. Let me get connected. Hold on. Those things tripping. All right, hold on. Hold on. All right, let me get online here. Hold on. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. How many people we got on?
23.
23. What's up to the 23 in the room?
20
All
now.
right. So, Captain, what is it?
20.
20. All right. So, what have we gone over so far?
Man, we're going on everything. Hit them with a brief synopsis of what we talked about. I done read them a whole book on damn near a whole book on contract tort law. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And talk about the Secretary of Health and Human Services, how she be giving out them loans and shit. You know
All
what I
right.
mean?
Cool. All right. Let me bring up the podcast here. All right. Hold on. This ain't you. This is Spider-Man. What the hell? How a Spider-Man video come up on here? Who else we got on here?
Oh, we got everybody, man. We just got JC, me and JC.
Oh, okay. All right. So I think we was discussing paternity actions, right?
Yeah.
All right. So paternity is the meat and backbone of all this stuff. You know what I mean? So let me pull up some stuff. So basically, paternity establishment, of course, is needed before the state can have any claim on you. Okay. And the way they do it is they get you to sign a birth certificate in the hospital, or they get you by marriage, you know what I mean? Or they get you by default. So I want y'all to listen to the little tricks that they play. So basically, I'm gonna break it down to you. I'm not gonna read anything to you. I'm gonna just break it down, based off what I read. So basically, there's a huge due process problem with the paternity establishment. So basically, you know, part of the matrix that we cracked was, of course, states receive federal bonuses and incentives. All right, everybody follow that? They receive bonuses and grants, or rather grants, for everything that they do within the agency. Everything. So so I intercepted a database, their database, where they communicate with each other. And part of that database is where they can pose questions to other attorneys and other workers on situations and how they can deceive you. Like, what the first thing they did was they took out certain language on your paternity form that you sign. They took out that a private corporation does studies with this birth certificate, and they use your information and sell it to other corporations to do these studies. They took that out. Okay. So basically, they have to meet state performances. They have to meet a certain, like, 80%, 90% criteria on all the paternity. Yeah, that's right. They have a 90% paternity rate, or else they get penalized. But what you don't realize is, again, the state cannot come after you unless you have that document in place with your signature on it. Anytime you put a signature on something, it's considered a contract. I don't care what they tell you. But I'm sure y'all have heard this in the past or somewhere or whatever, but they have to give you due process. And with any nature of a contract, they have to tell you the risk and consequences and the legal ramifications before you sign it. Now, what they do is they hide certain languages. They hide languages like administrative. They hide languages like contractor. They hide languages like whatever private corporation is mentioned on the document. They do that so they can have the expedited procedure. Okay, so their expedited procedures involves them taking out some steps of due process. All right, let me go to some jewels here on paternity here. All right, so let me see. Establishment of paternity. So It says that the state program under this part shall be found for the purpose of Section 403H not to have comply substantially with the requirements of this part unless for federal fiscal year beginning on October 1st, 1991. So basically, this document I'm reading says that, like one of the comments in the section here, somebody said they have to meet federal bonuses or whatnot. But what I really want to get to is this document that's called Judicial Child Support Collaborative Planning Guide for Leading Change. All right. Now, this document came out in August 2008. So basically, what this document is, it comes from the Chief Justice. All right. The Chief Justice, the Commissioner. He's like the highest judicial officer or whatever in the state. So the conference involves Chief Justices, National Council of Juvenile and Family Court Judges, National Judicial College, National Center for State Courts, National Council for Child Support Directors, Tribunal Child Support. So all of you who are in tribal nations claiming Indian and all that, they got contracts with them people too. Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement. So basically, this document talks about all the tactics that they use to get at you. So basically, when you go into these courtrooms, all odds are in against you. And see, what I need to start challenging in these courts is the fact that you can't get due process. You can't get equal protection of the law. You just can't, because these courts are under cooperative agreements with the Social Security Administration Act. They must get you onto child support. So here's the thing. Are you really receiving justice in these courts? Are you really receiving due process? See, in criminal court, the judge has to read you your rights. Pretty much he has to tell you what the charges are and what the charges imply. Okay? Yeah, they're breaking the oath of office. This is why you got to hold them to it. So you have your baby mama's attorney, you have the judge, and you have your own attorney who must follow the child support laws under the cooperative agreements, all trying to get you on child support. So you need to make the argument that, one, you're not getting proper due process, and two, that court cannot be impartial. That court is only biased. That court is only biased and not against you. That's not due process. All right? So you have to challenge these. You're going to have to challenge that birth certificate or acknowledgement of paternity, because fraud upon the court also involves a judicial officer, which interferes with the mechanical process of the court. Okay? So if you can go back and claim and prove or state a claim that that document that you signed it under threat, duress, and coercion, because one, they didn't give you the legal consequences of signing that document. Okay, number one. So no paternity, the state cannot have action against you. So let me break this down to you. Your baby mama, she does not have a right to 4D services. 4D services were constructed to collect on a loan given through the welfare system. Okay? So that's the only reason for Title 4D. So if she goes and asks for food stamps, TANF, whatever, then that's when Title 4D enforcement kicks in to recoup the state funds. However, when she's not receiving state funds, they still apply that collection process on you. You follow? So basically, she has to sign over her rights like a dummy. She signs over her and her child's rights to the state. Okay? And the state takes on the form of her. This is the real meaning of possession. Okay? A lot of y'all watch those scary movies. This is what possession means. Possession means the state or any natural person possessing a fictional name or entity. The state possesses the baby mama. The state takes on the baby mama's name. That's possession. And then they act in her behalf. Okay? So if she doesn't have a private right
entitlement to 4D services? What gives the state a private right, okay, to put you in a collection agency? Because they didn't give you no loan. That's right, ex-rel. They didn't give you no loan. They didn't give her no loan. But they're still coming after you as it's a collection practice. All right? So here's the thing. Y'all not challenging that. Y'all not challenging the fact that the state is making a claim, and the state, even though the state is claiming the real party of interest, the state is only going by assumptions. Now, a lot of y'all know about Blessing versus Freestone, which says, you know, Title 4D doesn't hold a private right of action. It is to recruit federal funding, and it's against absent parents, okay? And it's to help the taxpayer. One, you're the taxpayer. Two, you're not an absent father, okay? And three, they're going by the presumption that it will help the future recipients to keep people off welfare. Now, assume, if you look up the word assume, it means guessing with no proof, all right? So anytime they do that, or anytime they calculate your money using the state child support calculator, the federal judges say that that calculator is a rebuttable presumption, which means you have to rebut that. If you don't, guess what? It stands as truth. And a lot of people don't do that. You have a constitutional right, and I read this in my constitutional book. You have a constitutional right to deny paternity. You have a constitutional right to deny paternity. But what they do is they trick you. They say, well, you can't have custody of your child. You can't do this for your child unless you establish a legal connection. All right? So what they try to get you to do is say, hey, you don't have rights to your son or daughter unless you sign the paternity document, which will give you legal rights. But what they don't tell you is, in lieu of signing that document to gain legal rights, you lose your constitutional rights. All right? This is what's called unconstitutional conditions. Look it up. Unconstitutional conditions doctrine. Basically, what that says is that if the government cannot deprivate you from your constitutional right, they cannot indirectly, or they cannot make an agreement for you to get a benefit in order to give up your constitutional right.
Tell them one more time.
The unconstitutional conditions doctrine says that if the government cannot deprivate you from your constitutional rights anyway, they cannot do so indirectly. What that means is they cannot offer you a benefit or service or any other nature in lieu of you giving up your constitutional right. So if they say, hey, you can't get custody or you don't have legal claim unless you sign this paternity document, whether they got you in a hospital, whether they got you at the agency. What they're telling you to do is sign this document, but they're not telling you you lose constitutional rights, which gives them the power to levy your estate, your taxes, your property. And this is all under procedural due process. The government cannot, under the unconstitutional conditions doctrine, indirectly make you give up your constitutional right for a benefit. And you have a constitutional right to deny paternity. I just read this in my constitution book. Okay? See, you got to be able to use these to your advantage, because paternity, without paternity, let me tell you something about that. Not only do the states get federal grants for their performances of every single thing, they also must pay back the loan that they get from the federal government. So guess what? When you're paying into child support under a debt collection that you or your baby mama, well, your baby mama's getting a kickback as an informant. Okay, so she is technically getting a benefit on your behalf, not the government's. So basically, the government has to pay back the federal loans that it gets because it gets grants and it gets federal loans. So it's making you pay back the state's loan. See, child support is a state loan. It's not child support, it's state support. All right? But you have to be able to pinpoint this and shove it in their face like, look, the state doesn't have a private right, doesn't have an action either. So you have to know how these things play out. No birth certificate, no title, no legal title that the state can get you. All right. So what the states say about child support is way different than what the federal courts say. Okay. Because the states will say, oh, it's about the child. Oh, don't bastardize a child. It's not about the child. They're not the intended beneficiaries. Y'all get it? So look up the unconstitutional conditions doctrine. All right. And states by federal law must give you due process and tell you your legal rights and the consequences of signing a birth certificate. Hospitals are supposed to give you this. They usually would try to they usually I've seen this. They will usually give you this after you sign the acknowledgement of paternity. And they won't even tell you what it is. They'll just slip it to you. And you think it's just some random document. That's their slick way of doing it. Because in procedural due process, it says that under the Constitution, procedurally, they can deprivate you before they give you a hearing. It's just that they have to give you a hearing either before or after they deprivate you from a right. Remember, child support deals with rebuttable presumptions. If they calculate your income and you didn't give them no paycheck stubs or no tax returns, guess what? That is unconstitutional. And that cannot uphold because, one, that's definitely not a finding of facts. Court of Appeals have said that, and I've seen Court of Appeals vacate a child support judgment because the court went by its own fruition and calculated somebody's income without documented proof. Okay?
Yep.
See, you got to know the tricks that they play. So not only do they hide facts from you, they had certain documents from you. They had certain due process procedures from you. But you got to be able to detect and know your rights. And I'm going to be honest with you. Knowing the Constitution is one thing. But reading the books and seeing how the court applies and what ways they get around it is a different thing. Because you got to understand, these courts, they love to take plain English and put so many different provisions against that one word. Like, well, it says we can't shoot you, but let's look at it closer. Let's say we can't shoot you if you're wearing green with skinny jeans on. And see, they add little stuff to these words where if you're reading the Constitution, it's plain English. But if you go to court reciting this, they have elements for that ass. Same thing with due process. I just read like 20 pages of due process and all the little different due processes and how they interpret due process. So you going in saying, I didn't receive due process is not good enough. What kind of due process did you not get? You got to know your rights.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The Secretary for Health and Human Services, he's the one that approves federal grants and loans to the states. He's the one who is the secretary, the main honcho of the Cabinet of Human Services, the Cabinet for Family and Human Services. Now, everything's dictated through this man or woman, okay? Under the cooperative agreements, under the executive branch of government, they are contracted with the courts, they're contracted with the agencies, and if you get a private attorney, the private attorney is considered a contract in the means of Title 4D, and they must, whether you pay them or not, they must follow court rules. So if the judge says, hey, I need your paycheck stubs and your tax returns, your own attorney will say, hey, the judge needs this. We need to give it to her. Why? Because the judge is under contract to come after you for child support. They must come after you for your paycheck stubs and your tax returns. Now, what they will do is, and I've said this several podcasts before, what they will do is they will mix emotions with equity. You cannot mix equity with emotions. So basically what they'll do is they'll have one hearing where they're talking about custody and they're talking about child support. If it's just child support, they'll still get you to talk about the child and argue with your baby mama. All right? They must, meaning they're obligated to. So what the court would do is they will say, You understand you have an obligation to see your child, right? Well, obligation means you have a legal right. Yes, you have a legal right, a constitutional right, but what they use that word in broad terms. You can go to any parent on the street and be like, do you feel like you have an obligation to your child? Any parent will say yes. But what they do is they take the broad language as you submitting to that child support agreement. If they didn't tell you or explain to you what that obligation is, like you understand your obligation is to pay this amount of money, you get what I'm saying, and through income withholding, or you must pay that. They don't say that. They don't say that. They have that language because child support, the calculations is rebuttable presumption, but people don't rebut it because they give the state courts discretionary to go outside the guidelines. So they can determine whatever, but you have to rebut it. So if the Secretary of Health and Human Services, the head honcho all this, and they're deprivating you from your right and doing some illegal shit, okay, either the Secretary is responsible for passing down those laws and protocols, or the individual officer is responsible. And I'm going to tell you right now, you go after the individual officer because the secretary and his attorney, they're going to say, hey, under respondent superior, whatever, we're not responsible for them because they acted outside of protocol. Okay? Now, you can go after the Secretary of Health and Human Services in his official capacity if they use a benefit to deprivate you from your right.
Yeah, what's up?
All right. So basically, if the courts are contracted to follow Title 4D Social Security Administration Act procedures, that court indeed is administrative. It's not judicial. Okay. That would be a separation of powers issue. You can't have a judicial court proceeding over you that's contracted with a private agency to get you. Can't happen. Separation of powers. And the Court of Appeals have determined that the child support courts are indeed unconstitutional and it violates the separation of powers. But they still give them power under Administrative Act to do what they do because it's still a single and separate unit from the judicial branch. Do y'all follow? So you got to understand, being a parent is not an obligation, it's part of life, not even required. Here's the thing. It is an you owe an obligation to your children. See, you got to look up the word obligation. See, obligation can mean a sense in common law or it can mean a sense in today's commerce. They use obligation because it's tricky to decipher. Do you understand? See, when people hear the word obligation, they like, yeah, that's my child, but they don't know obligation is a contract term. You saying, yeah, I agree to this child support thing. You know, why don't they sit there and tell you what they calculating while they got you in front of your face? There's a reason for that. Why is it that your attorney sits in that court and don't rebut or object to them asking you questions about how much you make or the fact that you got to give up some kind of financial documents? Why does your attorney not object to that? You need to start questioning your attorneys for those of you who still think you need one. You need to start questioning your attorney. And 9 out of 10, they're going to say, well, that's the judge. She'll find you in contempt. No, bullshit. No. No. The court cannot proceed with child support unless it has a finding of facts. And that's me telling them how much I make or either or them me giving them financial documents. The court cannot proceed. It is considered unconstitutional.
Yes. Preach it, brother.
Right? So everything is contract. I know Wasil went over contract and tort law. Everything is contract. These courts will tell you, no, it's an order. All right. If it's an order, who submitted the documentation to the court for the court to determine the order? Ask yourself that. Anytime somebody submits to the court an order for the judge to sign, guess what? That's administrative. I don't care. I don't care. You know, they send your calculated pay, your calculated pay. The income withholding form is either filled out by your own damn attorney or the opposite attorney. Yes, the income withholding form is filled out either by your attorney or the opposite attorney, whether it be private or the 4D attorney. Yes. What's it say? Can I sue the attorney for not having my best interest? Yes, you can. That is called ineffective counsel. Okay? When you have ineffective counsel, if your counsel is ineffective and it messed up your ability to win a case or determine a better outcome for your case, it's called ineffective counsel. It's under Civil Rule 50. Don't get me lying to you. 50 something. It's in the 50s. Ineffective counsel. Yes, you can definitely sue your attorney under certain guidelines. So, but you gotta understand that just to save yourself a heartache and pain, any attorney you get, especially family attorney, is not going to be in your best interest. You know, they might argue custody for you, but they will still give the court or the judge your paycheck stubs because under Title 4D of the enforcement policy, they have to comply. If they don't comply, they will be barred from that court or barred from helping any other person in the child support case. Because remember, these same attorneys who are hired to defend you are the same attorneys who work against you. So one attorney who's defending somebody else could be a prosecutor for somebody else. That same attorney representing you could also represent some other baby mama to get money from the father. You follow? So these attorneys are not for you. I've seen communications where the agency 4D attorneys will be in collaborative cooperations with private attorneys. Do you understand? See, child support is a legalized criminal organization. Okay? If you've seen some of the emails and the communications that I've seen between the employees, they do some crazy stuff. Let me hit y'all with something else. Did you know there is a statute of limitations on what the child support can collect? There's a 15-year limit from what I read in their own communications amongst each other. And I'm pretty sure they don't even know that I know this, but surprise, motherfucker. Look, there's a 15-year limitation on them collecting arrears from you. If they've been trying to collect arrears from you and 15 years have passed, that's statute of limitations. But what they do is they get you while your child's 30, 40, and talking about you still owe some money. No. In their communications, one of the 4D attorneys asked this question. Is there there's a statute of limitations of 15 years on collecting arrears, but the child's father is still paying. What do I do? The answer to that was, hey, if he's still paying, let him pay. You think they're going to tell him, oh, you don't have to pay as a 15-year statute of limitations? You think they're going to stop sending him notices to pay an arrearage after 15 years? No, they're going to keep acting the way they do because a lot of people don't know there's a 15-year limitations on how they could do collections, because anytime an agency is collecting from you or hitting your credit report, that falls under the Deception Fair Credit Act. And there's a statute of limitations on anybody collecting money from you, even the state. You understand? There are other communications where a man is not the biological father. He signed the paternity document, so the state has legal claim and they're meeting their performances. But the real father comes in and says, I am the father. I want to have a legal claim. Don't you know these people would not let the other non-biological father transfer that over? Do you know that? That's how dirty they are. That's how dirty they are. And see, people need to learn to catch these people in these dirty little acts. But it's so tricky. You have to read. You have to read, you know what I mean? And you have to know how they operate on the inside. Yeah, we can sit on YouTube. You can go to these other channels. They can tell you about the child support agency all they want. We over here have been behind the scenes. I've seen their email communications. I've seen don't you know they all every state has a child support handbook, and they all follow what's called the prosecutor's handbook, because they always reference, hey, look inside the prosecutor's handbook, section 500.03. So each state, you have to look deep, has a handbook. And in the handbook, it says that they are not allowed to lie. They must be honest. They must act with integrity. Do they do that? No, they don't. And did you also know that the 4D agencies, once you hire a private attorney, like say you and your baby mama got a private attorney, right? The 4D agency is therefore kicked out of the equation. They cannot intervene or X-rail anybody when you're represented by a private attorney, because that private attorney is going to act as the 4D attorney. All right? But what they do is, say one of your attorneys leave the case or whatever, what they will do is they will intervene as the petitioner under a state law. How? Because the baby mama filled out an application. But I'm telling you, the application went away as them representing the state because she retained private counsel. All right? So, I hope y'all ingesting everything I'm telling you. Everything is under cooperative agreements under executive branch of government. Don't let them trick you saying it's judicial. Because I'm going to tell you what, let's hypothetically say that family court operates in one capacity as judicial and in another capacity as administrative. Guess what? When they act in both, because remember, you have two different case laws. You have a paternity case law and you have a custody case law. All right? Now, once you get a private attorney or once you initiate a custody, that paternity case law transfers over into your custody petition. So guess what? They just added on child support on top of you trying to fight for custody as if you agreed to everything. Y'all follow? So when the court does that, they are violating the separation of powers. And each one of these judges have like a 15-year term. And a lot of them come from being lawyers in the child support agency, administrative law judges. All right? But knowing that is not enough to get you off, okay? Because they are allowed to do this stuff. The only way you're going to get off is to state that they violated some kind of procedure or rule against you. I've seen Court of Appeals vacate a judgment because the court failed to use facts of how much somebody made. I've seen Court of Appeals vacate child support judgments because they violated a due process. You got to be able to know how these people operate. See, this podcast is about learning. Y'all follow? It's about learning. So you got to do your research. If you're going to be online, make sure you're reading the right shit online. Okay? There's so much misinformation out there. There's so many misinformation floating around on YouTube. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Because all it's doing is wasting everybody's time. And for those of you who are complaining about paying somebody to do your work, you're lazy. You're lazy and you're incompetent. I don't care if you're talking about Shamstoppers. I don't care if you're talking about what's Amen or whoever else. If you complaining about paying somebody because you lazy, you're never going to get off. Do you understand? It's pissing me off because we put in so much work, we put in so much time and money to help your lazy ass out. And you're going to come over here as the army of free shit because you don't know how to read a book. Here at Shamstoppers, we always tell you, you don't have to get shit from us. Read a damn book. Do you understand? Read a book. We don't look. What we know comes from books and from being on the inside. Okay? That's how we get our knowledge. If you're not willing to do the field work and the library work, stop complaining. You can pay somebody $2,000, $100,000, $800, whatever. You can pay somebody who will fight for you, or you can pay somebody who will submit you to the king's court. Do you understand? Knowledge is easily obtainable, but you got some people on YouTube talking crazy and ignorant. Yeah, that other guy, charging $2,000. Stay away from people like that. Ask them, what book have you read lately? Ask them that. Do you understand? This is some bullshit. Everybody, all 19 of y'all, I'm talking to all 19 of y'all because everybody else is scared to jump on right now. All 19 of y'all are the strongest of the strong. Do you understand? All 19 people in here are the strongest of the strong.
It's 21.
Okay, 21. My browser ain't refreshed. All 20 y'all, one of y'all in here are the best of the best. One, because you're here. And you know real shit when you hear it. Now I'm going to start cursing because that's how I get people's attention. So this podcast is a learning lesson. And it's a call out to all them other people on YouTube, those agents. And I'm saying agent because the information they're giving y'all is bullshit. They don't know, but I look up each and every one of their court cases and see what they're giving people, and they are messing people's lives up. They are messing people's lives up.
Stop it, Genesis, man.
Yeah. What was that? Yeah. I live and breathing 126 Genesis man. I ain't gonna call on the names of who's doing that paperwork, but stop that shit. You're getting laughed at in these courts. You're getting laughed at. If you doing, let me break it down. If you go in the courtroom with I'm sovereign, I'm a Moorish diplomat, I'm a secured party creditor, I'm not the straw man, I am the living, breathing 126 Genesis man. I am such and such of the family such and such. Let me talk about that real quick. There's a thing called real party of interest. Now, if somebody's giving you something to turn into federal court and they're not telling you how to fill out those cover sheets, those cover sheets is what's going to get you in trouble. Okay, those cover sheets is what the courts pay attention to before you submit your claim. I'm giving you a secret. So if you are required to fill out a cover sheet, you can check the little boxes, but do not write nothing else in there. If you put your name as John Smith on the cover sheet, don't submit no freaking documents talking about I am John of the family Smith. Because there's a case law that judges will hit you so fast that says you are not the party of interest. So this case cannot proceed. I'm not doing this. Huh?
What's the name of the case law?
I have to pull up that claim, man. But there's a case law.
Don't worry about it. We'll pull up next podcast.
Yeah, we'll pull that case up next podcast. I'm not doing this to throw shade at nobody. I'm doing this to improve our ability to know, learn, and react better. See, responsibility is the ability to respond. Okay? So, all those things I just named off, leave it out your fucking documents. They don't care. You're not sovereign in their court. You're always going to be a straw man. They don't care. They don't care if you're a 126 Genesis man. They don't care if you're the family of whatever plantation you choose to call yourself. If you're going to change your name, you X-rail it. But you have to X-rail it on your cover sheet too. Your case laws. If you don't read and understand the case that you're reciting and know if it applies to your case or not? See, you can't just take a piece of a case law and says, the judge says you can't look at me like this, case law. You can't do that. What happens is the judge will read that case. And if it's a case about ice cream, and if you quote in a case that has something to do with ice cream and your federal claim, guess what? The judge is going to treat your claim like ice cream and dismiss that shit. Y'all need to learn how to read your case law. Okay? Just because you see a quote that you like in a case citation doesn't mean that case applies to your situation. See, y'all need to think. It's just critical thinking. You're not going to get due process if you don't do the process on yourself. You understand? You have to process yourself before someone can give you the due process you deserve. So those out there, and if they're not on this channel, that's good. But if you encounter them, you tell them stop the bullshit. Stop it. If you receive any papers from somebody or any of them talking about the straw man, Moorish diplomat, peace treaty, secure party creditor, the family of this plantation, any of that crazy talk, you've been ripped off. These courts don't play. These courts don't play with that pseudo law shit. Keep your shit simple. You want off this child support thing, you're going to have to become the child support. You're going to have to spend hours researching, trying to dig deep into. If you have to go down to the agency and sweet talk one of those women, give them flowers, whatever, just so you can get information, by all means do that shit. You have to be diligent in obtaining information. These people research you every day. These people keep tabs on your income. You need to keep tabs on them. They get people who are ignorant of the law and the policies and the civil procedures of a court. Do you understand? If you're in family court right now, if you're on child support right now, you have to exhaust your administrative remedies. You're going to have to send in memorandums with an order attached on your claims of why they should leave you the fuck alone. Your goal is to get a final order from the judge, which means most likely they're going to deny you. Once you get a final order, then you can appeal it. You can't appeal something that's not a final order, because some of y'all are trying to appeal stuff and it's not a final order. So you got to trick them into, going in the direction you want them to go. Yeah, 50% of beating them is remaining extra calm. Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie, I flip out on them people because they be bullshitting you. They bullshit people who are nice. Okay? I remember, I was going through the motion. I was being nice. Yes, Your Honor. Well, Your Honor, if you feel like this doesn't give me remedy, I respect that. I used to be like that. Fuck that. Look, yes, be calm, but sometimes they push you in the realm of they're taking advantage of you because you're calmness. So let me recap real quick. You have to read, you have to study, you have to do a process on yourself before somebody can give you due process. These people out here talking about they can get you out child support or whatever. Look, let me tell you something. They're lying. They're lying. Because I see their court cases. They think I don't. I see their court cases. See, Shamstoppers is deeper than what you think. Like I said, we go behind the scenes. You know what I mean? We go behind the scenes. We see their emails. We see all that. Who can do that? Who else does that? We spend money on these books. We spend money watching these cases. So if you want to complain, if you're weak, little beta males out there want to complain about paying somebody, anybody, I don't care who it is. You want somebody to do your dirty work, you're going to, by hot damn it, you pay them. I don't care who it is. It could be, I don't care who it is. Like I said, it could be little little dreads over there. I ain't gonna call his name out. It could be Baby Wasil over there. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Sound just like Wasil. It could be him.
No, it
He ain't.
don't.
He ain't. Shalom, shalom, YouTube. Nah, I'm gonna leave that alone. Look, I don't care who it is. You're gonna pay somebody for their work. But I'm gonna tell you, majority of the people you paying out there who's complaining about Shamstoppers prices are not helping you. Some of them are giving you good information, but they're not giving you the correct information on how to apply it. How would you get the judge if you have interstate child support? Case started in let's see, in Tennessee, and asked the state to help them. Georgia helped the state and hit me up as well. So here's the thing. Through the cooperative agreements and interstate agreements, each court will contact another agency, county, whatever, to try to get them to pretty much come after you, whatever. If you make a claim in the non-original court, the court's not going to act against you. They're going to be like, oh, this guy's making a claim. We're going to leave this alone. We're going to kick this back to the original court that made this order. Okay. Administrative remedies. Administrative remedies is cornering the court. I call it cornering the court. To exhaust your administrative remedies, you got to put your claims on the record. Every document you submit to the family court goes into a record. So don't be putting in no frivolous, fantastic, delusional shit like I'm a sovereign, I am the Genesis 126 man. Don't put none of that because they retain all that. All right? Because what you're doing is you're building up a claim, but you got to know what you're talking about because guess what they're going to do? They're going to pull out the record, they're going to pull out transcripts, and they're going to pull out video. Okay? They're going to try to use that to go against you. So you got to know what's on the record. Okay? And you got to be able to defend yourself. So if they got you on video or on transcript saying, yeah, I know I have an obligation to pay, whatever, then you challenge that word, obligation. I said I had an obligation. I didn't say I agreed to child support. You see how that works? You got to know the language. But what you're doing is you're cornering them. You building up your claims, and you have to make the same claims unless they do something new to you. Then you add that newness to your old claims. Then your goal is to appeal that shit, okay? And there's only certain ways you can appeal it, and you only have a certain amount of time. The longer the time that goes by, if it's past a year, it's going to get harder, and you really need to understand what the elements are to get past that year. That's where your studying coming in, because I ain't going to tell you, because everybody's situation different. You work your way up. Then you show the feds, hey, they're not following federal law that was mandated by Title 4D.
Hello? You hit the mute button, my brother.
My bad, somebody called me. So I'm giving y'all some gems right now, okay? Don't put motions in, put memorandums. If you don't know what that is, look up the word memorandum. Get you a legal writing book so you can understand how to write one, and then put in an order. But you have to file a claim, because what you want to do is you want to show that the judge is not being impartial. If the judge refuses to acknowledge your claims, the judge is being biased and the judge is being impartial. Okay? If a judge is biased, if she even laughs at you, guess what? That's the grounds to get your shit dismissed, because now you've proven that the court is not being fair. The court's judgment is always void if you can prove that the court was under some type of influence or they were being biased. And Supreme Court said even if a judge smiles at you the wrong way, she's being biased. All right? Peace, Jacob. So, like I said, it's a learning lesson. And I hope all those little YouTube podcasters, gurus, whatever you want to call them, I hope they're on this also. Because this is supreme wisdom. You understand?
Well,
You know.
It's 9 o'clock. We've been on this motherfucker for 2 hours. You know what I mean? And we gonna continue this, fellas. We gonna let this marinate for a little bit, like for a couple 2-3 days, and go hard. I'm gonna drop some videos, and we're gonna keep it moving, man.
Yeah, and my bad for being late. You know, I apologize to my brother Wasil, and I apologize to the people in the chat. But all is well in due time. You know, I think we gave you enough. You know what I mean, to sit on your mind, because I don't want to give you too much, or else your brain gonna start frying. But it's just something to think about.
Yeah, fellas. So, fellas, shit, hit us up. If not, continue to watch, learn, take notes, and shit, we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it pumping. You know what I mean? We got more brothers to get off child support.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We're gonna have more.
And to that brother talking about the interstate courts, Wasil got a video on that where we got a brother a pink slip and got his stuff dismissed. If you watch that video if you can find it. The same situation you was in.
Somebody asking for that?
No, somebody in the comment section mentioned something about one court from a different jurisdiction try to get them. And you know, I responded, but I was telling him that there's a video that you did where we got a guy a pink slip. I think it was from Florida, where they tried to do
Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland.
And Florida tried to come after him.
Yeah, where the courts try to do that interstate crap. And
he, you
know, we got him to challenge it a certain way.
Yeah, it was his baby mama mad because he moved on, and his baby mama had an African dude, and he didn't work and nothing, and she felt bad because she got some lazy black mama cop.
Yeah.
And you know how that shit goes.
Yeah. Remember.
Oh yeah, I got you, my brother. I got you. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and remember, final word from me. You ain't got to get our service. You ain't got to donate to anybody else. Read a fucking book. Otherwise, shut your mouth. Stop complaining. Stop being lazy. You want somebody's energy, you're going to pay for it.
Yes. Well, we signing off, brothers. Y'all have a good night, and we're going to come back with some fire this week. All right? Peace.